The City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest featuring Maxwell, DeVito, Summer Walker, Jasmine Sullivan, Babyface, Kirk Franklin, Omarion, Jeezy, Scarface, Tink, Eric Bellinger, Tamia, Jaheim, DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Love, Marsha Ambrosia, October London, and more artists to be announced. Hosted by Jess Hilarious and Ricky Smiley. March 9th and 10th at Hard Rock Stadium. For tickets, visit jazzinthegardens.com.
Welcome to Unleash Your Audacious Confidence on Win-Win Women TV. This show is all about sharing the tips, tools, and techniques that will allow you to step boldly in the direction of your dreams despite your feelings, fears, or past failures. To imagine what's possible for yourself and live the life you deserve. Well, hello, and welcome to this episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. I'm your host, Alicia Curry, and I'm so glad that you joined us today because we are talking today about technology and your home. How many of us really are fearful or daunted by smart homes and smart technology, too much technology in our homes, and worry about invasion of privacy, intrusive cameras, or maybe even getting hacked. There are several reasons, and maybe even a power outage you might be concerned about. Well, we're going to cover some of that today with our guest. But before I get to introducing to you our guest, I just want to encourage you to connect with us. Connect with us on social media, connect with us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@Alicia for to subscribe to our channel. And these shows, along with our podcasts and so many other opportunities to influence, educate, inspire, and entertain you are on that platform. So we want to inspire you in life and in business. So go ahead and subscribe. You can also connect with me, Alicia360.com. And if you go to Alicia360.com, not only can you connect with me on all social media platforms that I'm on, but also you can get a free download of my 7 Secrets to Audacious Confidence. So if you're still kind of struggling with your confidence in certain areas, make sure to go and download that free ebook, 7 Secrets to Audacious Confidence, right there on Alicia360.com. All right, so having confidence in leveraging technology in our home. We have the author, the expert, he's been doing this since 1979, folks, Gary Rockis. Come on and join us, Gary, so we could talk about leveraging technology in your home. And I'm really excited for this conversation.
Well, hello there.
Hi, Gary. So, wow, you've been doing this for quite some time.
Yes, that's because I'm old.
Well, I would say you're full of wisdom. You are just loaded with wisdom. So I want us to start because during our brief conversation earlier today, we talked about starting small. Like let's say I don't use technology in my house. I'm afraid of using technology in my house for all the reasons I said at the beginning. Like, I don't want to get hacked. I don't want to get intrusive cameras. So walk me through, how should I take baby steps into this arena?
Well, the more you know overall of what you want, the easier it becomes, because then you can focus on what it is that you're looking for. For example, if it's security, then you say, okay, what kind of security do I want? Do I want it for my children in their bedrooms? Do I want it in my home? Do I want to protect my dog? What do I want to make safe? Then you can start looking for things that will make you safe. If you're interested in entertainment, then you begin to look for things for entertainment. If you're concerned about your electric bill, then you look for energy management type things. And what I've done to make that a little easier to understand is in my book, I've written your smart home voyage. I've traveled all over the world. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Iran, not Iran, but to the Middle East. I've been to Africa, a variety of places. But there isn't one place I've gone that I have not hired a tour guide.
Hmm.
Why? Because
Oh, no
I,
other place.
yeah, they know the place. I don't. So before I get there, I'll say, I think I want to see these places, but they're going to know what the best places are and where to go. So
Best places to eat.
yeah, that's true too. And whatever other type of entertainment you're looking for. But so in my book, and I'll keep referring to that, but I'll get away from it over time. But I took in the very first chapter, and you can look, it doesn't cost you anything. Go to my website, and I have a couple of animations. And in the first chapter, I take you through your home on a tour. And I don't say this is what you should do. I say, here's what you could do.
What's available to you. Nice. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people, I'd say, well, what's a smart bedroom? Well, what do you want to use that bedroom for? And
Sleep.
well, actually, you go back and take a look at it. It depends on your lifestyle. That bedroom could be for a child. It could
Hmm.
be for an active adult. It could be for a that's disabled. It could be your parent that needs care. So first thing you want to do is look at who you are and what your lifestyle is. Are you single? Are you married? Do you have a family? So as I go through the room, I try to get you to think about, oh, I could do this or I could do that. For example, in that bedroom, if it's early stage of life, it's your baby, and you want to monitor the temperature possibly of the child. You may want to have a video in there. You may want to have other things that maybe entertain or keep them happy. You move to a teenager, you want to lock and key and you want to keep them in there. No, uh, you may want to monitor what they're doing in terms of their internet. I don't think you're going to put video in there, but you want to have some idea what's going on in the room and make sure they have access and safe situation there. If that child happens to be deaf or blind, you may want to put in a lighting system or an audio system, for example, vibrating pillow for someone that can't hear. You may put in flashing lights to indicate blue, yellow, whatever it might be. One's an intruder, one is a fire, one's maybe breakfast is ready. So you go through and look at that room for what purpose do you want it to be? Then,
Mm.
and I start in the bedroom because that's usually where you get up in the morning. So then I take you into the bathroom. And okay, what do you expect there? Well, if you are a lady who's going to go to a meeting or who's going to go out for the evening or just getting ready, you can have a mirror that you can adjust the color to represent the environment that you're going to be in.
Hmm.
You can have facilities in there that, from a medical standpoint, they even now have toilets where you can put medical devices in to monitor vitals that the doctor can then access 24/7 to see patterns of behavior. You could
Mm.
put in music in your shower head with lights if you want. So again, it's those kind of things. Then I move to the most favorite area I like is my kitchen.
Hmm.
And there you can begin to look at smart appliances, toasters, different types. You want your coffee in the morning. So,
Like if your refrigerators are smart now that can order food for you when it's going low.
and you can also have, there's an audio, there's a video portion. So if you're at the store, technically you should be able to look at your phone. Oh, yeah, milk's about half done, blah, blah, blah. But so what I do in that first chapter is I take you through all these rooms. And as you do, in the back is a checklist. Oh,
Mm.
I like that. Oh, that's kind of interesting. And by the time you get done, you've gone on a tour and you've kind of done your cliff notes or your assessment of what you like.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of the book is delving deeper into what you may want to encounter in addition to that. And then how does it work? For
Yeah.
example, uh, everybody looks at this smart faucet and you go in and it turns the water on, turns the water off. How does that work? It's very simple. It's just a little photo eye that turns the switch on and off. And I show you an exploded view of that, of what goes underneath the sink, just to give you some confidence that there's no little person down there, watching you and turning the water on and off. So you, you got to have to take a look at. But from a technology standpoint, I also come back. People get scared by the term smart, a smart home.
Mm. No one to be smarter than me.
Yeah. In most cases, they're not. They're actually only decision-making possibilities.
Programmable.
Yeah, that you've chosen. They're not making the decisions for you that you haven't pre-approved. But most of it is connection. And what I mean by that, it's a connected home to a device. You're connected to your garage door opener via your garage door opener. You are connected to your TV by having your remote. And this, no matter how complicated the system is, there's only three components to it. There's an input, there's a process, and there's an output. Good example, thermostat.
Mm-hmm.
Want it hot? You set the thermostat up. You want it cold? You turn it down. Now, where it becomes smart is if you determine that you want it to monitor your pattern without thinking. So it would have a sensor that shows, that you've done this or done that, and it will gather that information, and then it will set your lifestyle based on your pattern of behavior. Now, you can override that. And there was one story where the mother goes to visit her daughter who has a very sophisticated, quote, smart home. And she's freezing her butt off all weekend. And her daughter comes back and she said, well, why didn't you just turn the thermostat up? I thought it did it on, it knew. No, it also, you can do a lot of this stuff manually. Uh,
Mm.
you don't necessarily have to use it as a smart device.
Right.
Use
You
it to your
overrides
advantage.
you can use.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I want people to start with is the idea that you choose what you want. You're not going into a smart home with the idea it's going to control you. You want to go in there and control your home, your environment. So that's the
Can you show the
beginning.
book? Show us the book because you have the book there with you. Show us the book. So anybody who wants to go to Your Smart Home Voyage is the name of the book. So you can go look at it.
And
I
I'm sorry, I'll just mention what's unique about it is this would be a picture of a smart kitchen or a
Mhm.
smart bedroom. You take your phone, your smartphone, I guess,
Yeah.
you have a QR code and you put your phone on that page and the animation comes up on your phone. So
Nice.
you can literally walk into your bedroom and watch the animation and look around and go, oh, that could go here. This could go there. So again, you're in control of what you want your environment to be.
And the thing is, if everybody uses a cell phone these days, they're familiar with smart technology. If you have a phone that's not a flip phone, even a flip phone had some technology. If you're not using dial-up internet, which is still technology, but like if you're with the times, in other words, you can get more comfortable with this. If you've had a baby and you had a baby monitor in the bedroom, that was smart technology to monitor your baby. So it's not like we're not familiar with it. I think um, where people get a little bit uh, challenged or fearful around using it is these bad actors that are around that now want to hack into your technology to do things. So how can we understand that part of it uh, with our homes. If we're using it for security, for instance, to unlock our doors and lock our doors, that someone could come in and disarm it by gaining codes or something like that.
Well, that's a good question. In fact, I go to a conference every year called Connections, and all the leading manufacturers are there. ADT, Apple, all the folks that are producing this technology. And they have a conference among themselves, and the uh, head of this company has the Connections Conference, Elizabeth Parks. They look at 10,000 people. They survey 10,000 people every 3 months on what is going on in their homes, what are their concerns. And that is right at the top of the list. The other one is, and you'll get to it eventually, is what happens when it breaks down. The two major concerns this year was security and usability.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the two things that everybody is complaining about or concerned about. And those are going to be the priorities you'll be seeing advertised going forward. That we are taking this seriously. We're doing these steps. And I don't endorse a particular company, Apple versus this versus that. However, the brands generally that you see have the money and resources to be some of the most secure. Now, there's
Mm-hmm.
smaller companies that are, but if you're looking at like ADT Google combination, that's probably a fairly strong and secure system. So, but there are others. And again, that little internet, go look, you know, what are
Yeah, because there
inform
was
me.
a while ago where Ring door cameras and the Ring technology that people had in their homes, the actual company had the people who were working for the company were stealing people's videos, and so that's a breach of privacy, and then posting it or blackmailing them with it or stuff like that. um that's not happening anymore, right? Companies are being a lot more careful about those things.
Yeah, and you have to realize there are bad actors everywhere, but generally, these companies are doing screening, monitoring of their employees. So, as compared to a smaller company where they may not have the resources and security, like I said, I don't endorse one brand over the other, but I certainly would look at the reputation of companies that have been around for a while. I remember when I first got into the computer business a while back, uh, I was talking to companies and I'd say, well, how long have you been in business? Well, we've been in business almost 12 months now. And you go, well, but the next one was only 6 months. So, and a lot of people, I conveniently said when we started teaching classes, you'll know right away when you're working with a computer why they call it a cursor. So, but there's been a lot of improvements in that since then.
Yeah, I'm sure. So let's talk about when technology does not work for you. So, for instance, during a power outage, if you have a lot of smart devices, now you did mention a little while ago that you can override these, um, manually override them. But when you have your home wired for tech and you lose power, what is some steps that you should take to secure your information or, you know, yourself, your home?
Yeah, the most immediate and least expensive is a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply. It's a box. What it really is a battery.
Hmm.
And you plug your most important devices into that, which in this case would be either your computer and or your internet connection. So that gives you maybe an hour and a half of protection to see if the power is going to come back on, or at least for you to allow it to shut down without having a shutdown because of
Hmm.
power loss. Longer term generators. are a good backup for your home. And the cost of those depend on what you need to power up. If you're going to do your whole house, you're going to spend a lot of money. What I've done in my home is I want to make sure my refrigerator works. I want to make sure my heating, air conditioning works, and I want to make sure my computer works. So I can hook up those circuits and downsize a little bit in terms of the power unit.
Uh-huh.
So, and then what's happening in the solar area, and
Yeah, that
also,
was my next question. I was going into solar next, so go keep rolling.
all right, well, uh, there's two elements to the solar. The solar can produce power when the sun shines, but I don't see it much at night. So what you have to have in addition to the solar is a large battery storage facility. Now, the good news is you can, in many cases, in the evening, charge those up so that when the solar is not operating, you can charge those batteries at night when the power costs are down. The other thing you can do is if you don't have solar at all, a lot of people now are buying these battery packs that they would use with solar, and they're just charging them at night. And so that they have that backup of power should they need it as compared to buying a generator.
How
Again,
long does the power last in those batteries? Like, how long does it store?
well, it depends on the size of the battery pack you buy. It depends on how many things you're going to run. If you're trying to run your refrigerator, your air conditioner, and all those, it's going to dwindle pretty quickly. But most of them, I would say, uh, probably on average, at least 24 hours of power and sometimes more.
So, like,
So,
if you're running a solar house, so you're switching over to solar, and you're coming off the grid, and you have a battery pack. So at night now, you're running what?
well, if you've stored up all day long and you're running off your battery, and it's very little at night because you've turned most of your lights off, put your
Right.
refrigerator and those kind of things, and you in that cycle you'll be fine. What happens sometimes though is that if you're completely off grid, you're going to have to be much more careful on your energy consumption, like
Hmm.
leaving your flashlight on. How long will it last? Well, if you use it
The battery.
intermittently, it'll last a long time. But if you turn it on, leave it on for 48 hours, you might take a dim view of things.
Right. And I guess my question about how long the battery lasts is if you don't have a power outage for months and months and months, and then I live in South Florida, so let's say we have a storm come through or something that knocks the power out. Do I have to depend on the solar of that day to store up for my battery, or will it store from the days prior that I didn't use it? It stores up in the battery. Like that, I think that was the question. Is it has to be that day and it'll store for that day. And if you use it, you use it. If you don't, it kind of dissipates after time.
Well, it's always charging when the solar is on. So, and you're using the excess during the day. And again, it depends on where you're at, how much surface area you have on your roof, what your consumption is. If you got a freezer, you got a refrigerator, what, and you really have to sit down with somebody and calculate how you live to determine
Hmm.
the size of how how fast and you fill your tub, so to speak, and how many times you're going to use it, and do you want
Right.
hot water, cold water. I try to bring it back to simple things, but it's consumption and
Hmm.
and versus supply. So that can be calculated because someone will go through your house, and they'll figure out what the kilowatt of the refrigerator, they'll figure this, and this. Okay, for 48 hours, it would use this energy. We look at the battery size to do that. Then to charge it, what size solar panel? It That's a little more complicated, but it's becoming a pretty sophisticated industry. So,
Yeah.
and then you have to find out if there's credits, if there's longevity, uh, angle of the roof. It's great, but get somebody that's very qualified and has a good reputation because there's
Hmm.
a lot of scammers out there.
Oh yeah. Like you said, there are bad actors everywhere. So you do your homework when it comes to even the people that are coming to install this into your homes. Make sure you're using reputable companies
Yeah,
because you don't want, just Joe Schmo off the street to come to to wire up your cameras and then he relays his own link.
yeah. Well,
Right.
and you think about installing the solar, you're going to be putting things on your roofs,
Right.
and you got to look at the age of the roofs. So, if your roof is about to go be re-roofed, it's not a good time to put a solar panel on top of it until you re-roof it because you'd have to take all that off and then
Mm.
roof it. So, again, get a very good, well-qualified vendor who you can get referrals from.
Hmm.
It's not any
Yeah.
different than roof repair. Roof repair has been a scam for many years. Oh, I'll do that for free. And then the rest of it is triple what you expected. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so do all those things, make sure that you're consulting reputable companies and you're getting their licensing and all the things that you need for before someone comes to install something into your home, which is just really a good practice anyway. Um, Anything that I did not ask you about using smart devices in your home that you can share with us as we're coming almost to the end of our interview. So,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, there's a couple things to think about. One, do an energy audit. And I
Mm,
cover that in the book too. There's a lot of things you can do in your home and insulation, that and cracks and fans and things like that that will cool and heat without a lot of energy. The other thing to look at, and I go through your water system. And by that, I mean, you can have, let's say you're on vacation and your hot water heater starts leaking. You can buy a device that sits under that hot water heater and it will notify you that there's a leak. It can also shut off the main power to, or the
mm,
main valve to your water. And then I go little water trail through and I go, okay, so it goes to the hot water heater. You can have a smart hot water heater that will monitor temperatures, shut it up and down based on what you want. You can go to the faucet and you can have, automated faucets. You go into the shower, there's ways of, monitoring that. And so you look at your water system. That also goes out into the yard with your irrigation system. And then your lighting system. Obviously, LED lights are very important. I cover that in my book and explain what it means to buy one and the lumens versus the watts and all that kind
mm.
of stuff. The reason for that was my wife was out buying some bulbs and she called me and go, what's the, so I made sure that was in that chapter. So look at your lighting system and you can do things that maybe you've got a light that's way up somewhere that's inconvenient to get to. So you may want that to be turned on and off. You may want to use photo cells. For example, I have one going to the basement. Usually in
Mm,
the basement, I got something in my hand and I don't want to be trying to flip the switch, but if I go by a photo cell and then I go downstairs, I can turn it off. So look at all the things that kind of irritate you and
mhm.
then kind of figure out what it
There's
is.
a solution for it. There is a solution for it.
Yeah, there is. And then there's some fun stuff, they're starting to do with robotics. But
Mhm.
I'd say the last thing that's probably one of the most important things you're going to see over the next 5 years, because insurance companies are pouring billions and billions of dollars in it, and that's to be home health care. Uh,
Mm.
you're already going to have in that bedroom a pill dispenser that says, Alice, it's time to take your pills. You're going to have stools, like I said, that would have, without getting into too much detail, bodily fluids and things like that are monitored for people with diabetes. There's
Right.
automated wheelchairs. Uh, a lot of things will be happening in the healthcare. And there's bed sheets that will monitor your temperature, your heartbeat. There's now systems that will determine when you fell.
Yeah, beyond your smartwatch, there
Yeah,
will be things in your home to help monitor your health as yeah, especially for the elderly. That is fascinating. It's great.
you don't have to clap to let them know that you fell.
Push a button, I've fallen and I can't get up.
It'll
Well, Gary,
know.
this has been really enlightening. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge with us about smart technology for your home. And really, don't be afraid of it. Don't be daunted. Go check out his book. You can go to GaryRockis.com. So you see his name, GaryRockis, sorry, ROCKIS.com to find out more. And they can order your books there as well, correct?
Amazon.com. It's an
Go to
Amazon book.
Amazon.
It's an
Go to
Amazon
Amazon.
seller. So yeah, what isn't on Amazon?
What
Yeah.
is not Amazon? Exactly. And go ask Alexa how to get in touch with him, and she'll find it for you. I want to just thank you, Gary, for sharing your wisdom with us, for coming on and helping us be more confident in integrating technology into our homes. And I want to just let everyone know that you can be bold, you can be brave, and every day you can do one thing to step out with more audacious confidence in your life. So, see you next time on another episode of Unleash Your Audacious Confidence here on Win Win Women TV.